Hello guys, welcome back to the second part of making my custom PCB controller from Arduino. This episode I am going to put the other two buttons here. We're going to put the LCD display and we're going to glue the 3D printed handles. So everything including the board and the 3D prints, which are right here and are going to go like this, are from PCB Way, which are today's sponsor. If you needed a custom circuit board for your electronics projects, PCB Way makes the whole process really easy. They offer PCB manufacturing, PCB assembly, 3D printing, and even CNC machining. They have an instant quote system in which you can put the dimensions, the quantity, the layers, the thickness of the board you want, and you instantly get the estimated price for the PCB board and the shipping cost and the total sum. If you want to check out PCB Way, check out my referral link in the description below, which grants $5 discount for first users after registration. Check out in the description below. So, coming back, we are firstly going to take out the pins on these buttons as we did on this one, and then we are going to solder our own pins and solder it onto the board. So firstly we are going to take out the pins.
3 hours later.
So as you can see, I took both of the pins out from both of the buttons, and now we are just going to solder these ones in here. And let's just speed run through the process. So these pins are done, and let's bring in the controller. So we have this right here, and we are just going to place this, and we are going to solder the two buttons that remained. So just like this. And speeding up through this part, this is actually really easy. You just put the solder and you solder the spot. So these are done, as you can see. I just soldered them. So it is now done. Let's firstly do the two pins which are going to go here for the power. We are going to put them in, and we are just going to solder them from the other side. So that is soldered there. I think it's pretty good. And the only thing left is the LCD display. So let's quickly do that. So firstly, we are going to need to bend these pins. So just like this, and I forgot one. Oops. So those go there. And these are going to go just in here, because if I put this here, it is going to have a lot of space, and I do not want that. So let's just solder it and see what happens. So that's good, and the placement is also good. So let's just fire it up and see if it actually works. I don't know if the display is going to work, but let's see. And it's not working. Now, why is that? So guys, I found out the problem, and it's really bad. So you can see the pins, they go clock, data, ground, and VCC. But when I flip this over, it goes ground, VCC, SDA, SCL. So they are completely different, and I don't know what the person that was designing this uh, this drawing did, because it is really bad. So they are all switched up. So here is what I am actually going to do. So we are going to solder wires right here. Just take this out quickly, and this, just to be sure. And we're going to solder wires here. So we are going to solder these wires, but so what I'm basically doing is soldering all the wires on the pins themselves, and then I'm going to put them through the hole and solder them onto external pins, on which I'm going to switch up the pin number so they are correctly numbered and not in reverse. So that's what I'm doing here, and they're very little and fragile, and they break very easily. So let's see if this will actually work, and I will just plug in the LCD display and see if it will light up. And plug it in, and it actually does work. As you can see, the LCD lights up, but there is a bug in the program, I think. So you can see just now on the display the speeds are flickering, so they are changing fast. So it is either the problem with the button or the program, and I will just see and fix it. So it turns out the problem is actually with the button. So while I was taking out the pins that it already had, I accidentally removed the gold plating around the pins, so solder won't actually stick, as you can see, and it is wobbling. So I will probably just need to change it. So actually I did succeed in taking out the pins on another button, but as you can see, the golden plating on this pin as well is a little bit worn off. So the button is also a different model, as you can see, but it's actually the same thing. So let's just solder it right now and see if it will work. If you like watching videos like this, check out my playlist on the Arduino car. Now, let's actually change the button cap and put it on the newly soldered button. And let's test out the button on the display. So we are plugging in the display and turning it on just to see if the button works. So plugging in the USB-C cable, and as you can see, it is working and it is not flickering on the speeds, but I don't know if you can actually see it. Let me change it quickly. Yes, here you can see we are changing the speed low, medium, high, so it isn't flickering. On the middle button we have driving mode, so automatic mode and manual, and on the right one we are going to have a light turning off and on. So I just had a plan of change. So as you can see, the two pins we solder onto the board for the power we are going to solder out, and we are actually going to solder a 9-volt battery plug. So we are just going to have a 9-volt battery glued on the back side. As you saw in the sped up video, I took out the two pins, and now I'm just going to solder the two wires and show you the result. So in the future we can actually change the 9-volt battery for a charging module and a Li-ion battery, for example, but for now let's stay like this. Just plug in the battery, and just like that it actually works. So now we are going to glue the remaining parts. We are going to place the LCD, we are going to glue the battery, and we are finally going to put the 3D holders. So let's just do the easy parts now. So the display, it should go right here. So we'll put glue on this part, on the pins, so we can actually take out the display later. So let's see where it actually should go, and I want it to go somewhere like this. So just pressing down on the pins till they're glued. So that is actually perfect. So now let's do the battery on the back side. Yeah, I'll just glue the battery for now like this, misaligned, so, but it doesn't really matter because the battery won't be seen anyway. So let's put the glue on it. Place it here. That seems good. And let's see if we can actually take out the power thing connector. So yeah, we can take it out and we can place it in. Perfect. Now the only part that remains, finishing up the project, is the handles themselves. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in here in the cracks. Like that. Now I should be able to just put this in. Perfect. And now let's hold it for some minutes. In the meantime, we can put glue on the other handle. Perfect. And let's do this as well. So there. That's perfect. And I think the glue has cooled down. The only thing that remains now is to actually test it out and compare it to the old one. So here it is turned on. You can see I can change the speeds. I can change the driving mode. I can turn the light on and off. And let's compare it to the previous version. So here they are. This one is bigger, but I think it looks better because it is way cleaner. It doesn't have any wires. It's actually thinner by a lot, as you can see. So yeah, it's even a little bit lighter, but that's it. Both of the controllers work, but I will be using this one from now on because it's better. And I just wanted to switch out the caps because I want the original color scheme so that I can recognize which button is for what. Now all that remains is to actually see the controller working and controlling the car. So as you can see guys, here it is, the whole controller. Here it is working. We can move the camera. I mean, there is no camera right now, but you get the idea. We can move the angle. We can turn off on the light, as you can see. We can change the speed. Now it's medium. And now it is high. We can also test the rain, so by pressing the left joystick, a rain sensor using a servo motor comes down and it checks if there is rain or not. Also, if you press the right joystick, the moisture sensor comes down and we can see if the soil is wet or not. And that's it. The green button is for the mode, so it drives automatically, but I won't test that out now because my table isn't big enough for that. So that is basically it for this project, guys. Thank you for the support. Thanks to PCB Way as well. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.